Good afternoon. I'm the Reverend Laura Hewitt. I'm actually the Vicar at St James in New Barnet, and I've been asked to say a little bit about how I've seen that faith has changed over the years, particularly in this area. Well, I actually grew up in this area. I grew up and I was baptised and I was confirmed in the local church, St Peter's in London Colney. My first recollections of church was going with my grandma, where we had to wear our best clothes, and I can remember her being really well turned out in her best coat every single time. But there were some really dedicated people there, and they used to stand and sing hymns, and it was all very serious. I recall thinking how I knew there was something really special about the stories of Jesus, and I really did enjoy the Sunday school. The church played a great part in the lives of my parents and my grandparents. It was the focus point of the villages as well. It was a place that they would make sure they went every single Sunday. And we grew up knowing the stories of Jesus. We grew up knowing faith. And a lot of my friends actually would go to the local youth groups as I was growing up as well. And those youth groups were held in churches. The local vicar once came to my school, and I can recall being really impressed that he turned up with a guitar and cord trousers. I'd never seen a vicar in cord trousers with a guitar before, and that for me was a bit trendy, and that really affected me actually, and made me think, hang on a minute, there's something really relevant to me here. As I grew up, the church started to change quite dramatically, and as a young person, I found that suddenly the church played music with a band. And more than that, this music sounded like music that I would listen to on the radio and I could really identify with. And it was a place where I could wear my jeans and be accepted. So there was a real change in how the message was communicated. This helped me to identify with church and faith. And there was a real interest as well in justice, in society, in church being about our everyday life and God being interested in all of our issues. And it was something that helped me to really come to faith. Also, I realized that we were there to help practically, help people practically with their lives as well, not just to talk about Jesus, but actually Jesus was interested in what our lives were like and who we were. I guess over the years, what I have seen is that church has become more relevant to everyday life, but also that the Christian faith isn't taught as much in homes or in schools. So whereas I just knew the stories about Jesus, I realised that some people have never even heard of Jesus, and they don't know the stories, and they don't know about God in the way that I was brought up to know about God. So when sharing faith, I'm starting almost with, there is a God, and is God relevant today, and who is Jesus? There are very many different questions that people are asking today than maybe we did when I was growing up, when I knew something of the Christian faith, and a lot of people these days just don't. Today there's a place for tradition, and there is also a place for modern styles of worship. But the message of hope and of Jesus doesn't change, but the way it's communicated does. Even some vicars don't wear collars. I don't wear my collar that often, all the time. And as a church, we are much more, I think, in touch with world issues and justice issues, helping our communities to find God, not just on a Sunday, but every single day in everything we do. The church has become more like Jesus, I think, intended. The church is the people, not just the place. And I think that still it's really important for people that they have a place where they can go and pray and meet with God, though, and meet with God together as well as individuals. We continue to be really busy with funerals and weddings and baptisms. But I think today, actually, maybe in my day, we just were brought up with it. So we kind of believed. And sometimes we didn't. I think that was maybe not so real as it is today. I think people today, when they choose Jesus, when they choose faith, are choosing it because they really believe it. So I think it's more authentic, more real today than perhaps it was in my day, where we were just brought up and expected to go and believe. Today, I think church is a place where everyone is welcome, and it's much more less about the form of worship and a form of service in a formal way, but it's actually a way of life. So I hope that you can think about maybe what the changes have been through the years, and realise that actually faith has always been part of our community and always part of our life. And it also is the backbone of our society, in the fact that we believe in the Ten Commandments. We believe in doing good, and these are all good things. The principles of the Christian faith are good principles, regardless of whether you believe that Jesus is the Son of God. And that is something that our society has been built on. and will continue to be built on, I think, as the years go by. I think the Christian faith is as relevant today as it has ever been.